DeSanto Propane is 4 generations strong as a trustworthy family-owned business with unmatched customer service. Go online at DeSantoPropane.com for more info or call toll-free at 1-800-752-4574. Since 1937, the difference has been DeSanto Propane.
All right, everybody, welcome into Fresh Takes with Russo and Felice. Paul Russo, Nick Felice here with you. I had to get readjusted in the chair. Nick, this is going to be, I think what I kind of set off air to you, this might be one of our stranger episodes we ever have done, just given some circumstances at hand. We're going to get to Indy. I'm excited to debrief with you on that front. So
it was a good time.
We got that to do. We got the Knicks and other stuff, obviously, on that front to discuss. We got Kyle Busch to talk about as well. Just a lot kind of happening in the past Memorial Day weekend type of here in sports. So, good to see you survived Indy. You survived you didn't. I don't think you made it to the snake pit, right? Because that's a whole entire separate other ticketing thing. And
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, so. We'll get into all that and more. I think a couple more of our partners here today, including Lil John and Barbie Orthodontics. Dr. Lil John and Dr. Barbie and their outstanding orthodontic team, they share a common goal to ensure the overall wellness of each of their patients through their exceptional orthodontic care. You can check them out online at littlejohnortho.com. And Rock Industrial, a family-owned business in Rochester, providing expert industrial machine repair services, offering cost-effective solutions backed by a 2-year warranty, friendly, knowledgeable service. They also stock thousands of hard-to-find industrial parts in their ISO 9001 certified facility that you can pick up today to keep your production line moving. You can check them out online at rockindustrial.com. All right, Nick. We're going to, like I said, this is going to be a very weird edition of the podcast, like going through this, everything. We're going to start, obviously, I think, a much more positive end of things before we go through, I guess, kind of the downside to sports and stuff like that this past weekend. But your New York Knicks, Nick, for the first time since 1999, going to the NBA Finals, swept the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's go with your emotions there first, man. Just how you feeling here with you got a chance for an NBA title. I think a pretty good opportunity here, no matter how you shake it.
Well, we were both 4 years old at the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We were both 4.
No, 5 for me. Right? No.
Well, it depends. Well, you're not 32 yet, so.
True.
Or 29. Sorry. Cut that out.
Edit.
Well, either way, it was a long time ago. And it was exciting. But it's just like it's exciting, but a sweep kind of like damps it a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Because the 3-0 is the death sentence, basically, in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
And I was I get nervous when the Knicks go up 3-0 because I don't want to be the first team to blow it. But I was pretty confident just the way they've been playing. And to just show up every closeout game this playoffs has been unbelievable to watch. And this is a big deal because this is a point in my fandom of the team. This is the farthest we've ever gone. Mm-hmm. And this is the NBA Finals now, and we are the Eastern Conference champions. Like, we actually won something that's not just the NBA Cup. But
it's tough too, I think, from this perspective. And I don't know how you feel about this, right? But like from the way I view it, like whatever negatives there might have been to talk about at this point for them, like we talked about last week because of Game 1, like I got no like notes for the Knicks overall, like until like we for sure know who their opponent's going to be, and luckily for us, like we'll be able to fully kind of preview that next week because Game 1 of the NBA Finals, no matter what, is next Wednesday night. Yep. So like we're going to be able to dive in just hours before fully, right? Like so I got like nothing fully to dissect exactly on the Knicks. Like there is, like don't get me wrong, but like I don't want to rehash stuff that we literally talked about last week. There's no sense to.
Yeah.
Like they played outside of like I mentioned last week. In this sense, it's the only part I would bring up, just because of whatever. But like, I guess outside of the first 30 or so minutes of the series, like the Knicks were just in control essentially the whole time. Like, yeah, the Cavs, and we can dive maybe more into this too, just for a second. But like, yeah, the Cavs did have moments. Like, I don't want to get twisted, but like, especially like the end of Game 3 and essentially the whole vibe in Game 4, like was just like despondent for them. Like the Knicks were just in control the whole time. There's just, like I said, for me, there's just nothing there to really dive into on them in the negative way.
Well, the details of Game 2 through 4 it just will not be remembered in this series. What will be remembered in this series is Game 1 comeback.
Yeah.
Analytics.
I was about to do that.
And the Knicks breaking the 27-year drought of getting to the NBA Final. That's what this series will be remembered by. And I dreamed of the Knicks just winning a playoff game.
Yeah.
And here we are sweeping teams back to back.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's just I might be wrong. I think it was 3 podcasts ago we were talking about the Sixers series. Like,
yeah,
it goes by so fast. And it was like the early part of the Sixers series. And these series are just sometimes you kind of wish for them to lose the Knicks just to get some more games in. It just goes too fast.
Well, that's the funny part, right? You brought that up last week, how like in a way you want to see some sort of struggle even for a moment. And like I said, like there is in-depth stuff we could look at. But like you were talking, I think more on that grand, just a bigger scale, because like, frankly, like the Knicks are in the middle of one of the best stretches, period, in NBA history.
Historic.
And look, I don't want to do the whole entire thing like regular season, the playoff. Like, is it as good as maybe a 27-game win streak? Like, probably technically not, but like in terms of pure dominance, it is like you said, and like it is known. It is historic right now. Like it just is. Like this has been the best month of basketball in NBA history. Period. Like point blank.
And I know you're going to want to talk about the analytics but it's just crazy that Kenny Atkinson would say something like that, because you pointed it out. They're not just winning these games; they're blowing people out, and their point differential is unbelievable.
So let's jump in a little bit to that Cleveland stuff right now, then quickly, because you brought up the analytics. I am self-proclaimed. I do believe in analytics, but I also believe that to only degrees, though, right? And I know it's easier for us maybe to dive into it more on like the baseball side, right? That's just more where we're well versed in everything, right? Basketball is where I kind of sit maybe more on a traditional, closer to the traditional, but definitely lean like where you can find stuff discrepancy wise or something like that. But like, I'm not going to dismiss the numbers and say like Kenny's wrong. Like, yeah, numerically speaking, he was right. The Cavs were exceeding their expected point or whatever. But like, at the end of the day, dude, like your team quit in one of those at the end of one of those games you were referencing. And guess what? You still technically would have lost one of those games anyway, because you only won analytically 2 of 3. So like, I don't know. Maybe this goes into like a wider discussion for them too that we can touch on briefly. But like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't care whatever the numbers tell you at the end of the day, because you got your ass swept 4 in a row. And then like that's just my thing at the end of the day.
Then it becomes a mental part of the game.
Yeah.
Where you're already down 3-0, and you say something like that. You're motivating the Knicks who are up 3-0.
Right, but that's my thing about this too. Is just like I can understand what he's maybe trying to do, but it's like gonna work inversely here, like very clearly.
And also James Harden after the last game.
Yeah, so this is the perfect transition to maybe that wider point for the Cavs, where like I still view them as I think you have to view them still at this point as like maybe a top. We'll go safe, top 5 team in the East, which is a top 3rd team right in the conference, but like. The fact that they're already committed essentially to running it back next year is insane to me. Yeah. Like, I believe in Kenny Atkinson. I think he is a good coach. I just don't know how you can bring him back justifiably right now. While not confirmed, obviously, because that would be going against league rules and the union rules, even if you did do a wink-wink deal with James Harden, I don't know how you can bring him back realistically,
Harden?
right? Yeah. And furthermore, and it sucks I'm looking at it from this way, but like we kind of talked about it a little bit last week, and again, I don't really want to rehash, but like the Evan Mobley thing to me is just still confusing as hell because like he frankly did have really good games in 3 and 4, but like I don't know, like it's crazy how I went from Mobley's the one big you have to keep to Jared Allen's the one big you have to keep in the span of a year. I don't know, because of the Harden thing, they're gonna be trapped in a money situation here where they essentially are probably going to be running it back unless, and I don't want to do this either right now, but like unless they get into this Giannis sweepstakes and make everything work.
What about the LeBron sweepstakes?
More believable, but I don't know if that like that. Shout out my guy Nick Tapar. So he did ask me about like what do you feel about, because it is technically a realistic possibility that they could even technically do all 4, but I just, even then on the court, I don't see how it works. That's essentially 4 guys on your team that are, I don't, like, LeBron at this stage I don't think is ball dependent, but, like, base-wise, they're all ball dependent players. You know what I mean? I think LeBron at this stage kind of doesn't need the ball in his hands to be whatever effective he is at this point, but, like, Harden's effective when the ball's in his hands, right? Mitchell's effective when the ball is in his hands. Giannis is effective with the ball in his hand. Like it's a lot of mouths to feed, and you don't have enough food at the table to feed them all. So.
And it was still a successful season for the Cavs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Just a horrible ending.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat the number 1 seeded Pistons, upset them, and won 2 tough Game 7s.
I think the tough part there too is I think it's very clear that the East had some straw man-esque stuff this year standings-wise. I think that's something we really debunked early on in the playoffs, right? Like, when we were just like, oh, the Magic have taken the Pistons 7 games. Like, we should have maybe have known as a guarantee then, right, that, like, something was up.
And the Celtics as well.
Yeah, so like I don't think the Knicks' plan intentionally was like we're gonna get the 3 seed and whatever, because we were sitting here at one point I think in January discussing them as like what the hell is happening here.
People were taking the Hawks over them.
Right, and I mean look, I bit into that a little bit as well, and since that Game 3 loss, I mean it's just been very clearly the Knicks.
And their 2 losses this year by 1 point each.
Yeah.
Different type of 1 points. They had to come back in the one.
Right,
and they blew the one.
Yeah.
But 1 point is 1 point.
Yeah, so I don't know, and obviously, like I said, I think preview for the final stuff here, right? We have to wait to see who's going to win the West, and then we can maybe dive fully more into the Knicks on that front. But I mean, just what a season so far at this point for the Knicks.
Yeah, this is one of the greatest Knicks seasons of all time.
Yeah, and I think that's the tough part where I almost say not you in this sense from a fan perspective, but like the actual fans on the ground right now in Manhattan are going to need to fully understand is if you do lose, like don't go Arkham.
And
you know,
one final point on this, I'd like to see San Antonio, but I think we're going to get OKC.
Yeah, so let's dive into that a little bit here before we kind of get to some hockey stuff here quickly too. Yeah, I was really hoping last night, Tuesday night, San Antonio had something, but despite them winning Game 4, there's some stuff with Wemby I'm kind of like, that's interesting. Like, he's back-to-back single-digit now rebound games. Don't get me wrong, he still is bullying Chet, but, like, there's just some questions, right? And I think that's the part that kind of sucks is, like, I think we are going to be, I don't mean to sound it like the way this is. I think we are going to be pinned with a Knicks Thunder final at this point. Which will be fascinating. Like I said, like that part next Wednesday is going to be fun to discuss. But yeah, I still think this series is going 7 out west. I have a hard time believing San Antonio is going to drop Game 6 tomorrow night at home. I think at that point Saturday is.
I also would like to watch something on Saturday night. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think at that point on Saturday, right. I think no matter what, it will just be kind of a toss-up in that sense. But like you said, I think it's tough not to lean the Thunder, and it sucks because, like, especially at this point, last night was look, I'm not going to consider myself a basketball purist by any means, but, like, last night was a travesty of a game in the sense of, like, you know, like, what are we doing? Yeah. And I get it. It's whatever. Flopping and flailing has been part of the game for forever. But I mean, they're just so much. It's just the blatant way they do it. Like, get some acting classes, I guess, is what I'm kind of going at here. But it's bad. The Thunder.
Yeah. And if it is Knicks Thunder, which I think it's going to lean that way, I'm just intrigued by the home courts.
Yeah.
You talk about two of the better home courts in the entire league. And I'm intrigued to see if the Knicks fans can even get there to Oklahoma City.
They can. They can get there. I think it's that part of it, right, that we kind of saw with Cleveland a little bit, where it's just like, are they going to do which I don't personally like, the whole entire withhold tickets and stuff
like
that.
T-shirt thing, so you're going to see the Knicks fans.
Yeah, but although to be fair, I mean, similar color schemes. I mean, it's a darker blue for the Knicks, but by a shade.
Maybe they'll go orange. Oh wait, but the Knicks are orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the same.
So,
I mean, it's different, but the same. Different, but the same.
Yeah. Same, but different.
I think San Antonio does win tomorrow night, though.
Yeah. I think we're both kind of on the same plane there.
I think it's home.
Yeah. So, all right. Hockey quickly here. Montreal.
Quickly.
Yeah. Montreal.
Colorado's gone.
I'll say we'll start in the East just for the sake of whatever. Carolina has kind of wrestled, I would say, momentum for sure from Montreal at this point. It is fascinating, though, that Montreal is just perpetually stuck at 15 shots on goals a game. If they get to 3 goals, they'll win, and if not, they'll lose. It's one of those, to me, fascinating side elements of it, right? But out west, I did not anticipate.
No, we thought.
I'm not gonna say that I didn't see a path Vegas would win, obviously, but the way they did, I mean, Colorado just, and I've seen stuff on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it, about I get they're dealing with injuries and everything, but who isn't, especially in hockey at this time of the year? You know what I mean? You're talking about a team in Vegas that essentially blew up the locker room right before the playoffs started, right, with the coaching change, and just they find themselves kind of back to where they've essentially been since their existence, right? So this is an every other year thing for them now at this point, is being in the finals. So, yeah, I mean, credit where credit's due there, I guess, but it is kind of crazy how I think both of us just penciled in Carolina and Colorado. And to be fair, as much as I said Carolina does have that momentum and the edge right now with Montreal, to me, Montreal's not out of it. That series has turned into what I think we thought Vegas and Colorado was going to be, in all honesty, just in terms of tit for tat. Whereas, and look, not to say each game didn't have, or a couple of games didn't have that in that series, but just for the series as a whole, it's oh shit, look what happened.
Carolina shows up in the overtime period, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Which is what you want to see this time of year. John Tortorella, greatest interim head coach of all time.
He's got such a weird career, man.
But I always liked him.
Yeah.
He's a good coach to play for. Kind of gets worn out, but right now he's fine. And it's definitely tough for Sabre fans, finally making the playoffs this year. And here's Jack Eichel trying to win another championship.
Yeah, so there's a term, I'll use a racing reference here of sort. The crew chief back in the day, kind of well-known, Jake Elder, his nickname was Suitcase Jake. It's kind of what Torts is in the NHL. Very much so, right? His way. But I mean, look, for
certain tremendous job.
But that's the thing, for certain teams, it works out really well, right? I mean, his time with the Rangers and even with the Lightning, I mean, he won the first Stanley Cup in Tampa Bay as the head coach, right? And I think for certain teams, it does work out well. And then there's just other teams, frankly, the Flyers last year, where it's just not what it should be or needs to be.
He can win the championship this year, but I bet you in 3-4 years he's probably out as the coach.
We'll try 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So,
but great for Vegas. This is definitely a Felice household Stanley Cup if we get it. My sister lives in Raleigh.
That's true.
Raleigh, and my parents love Las Vegas.
What do you mean your parents? You guys, period, love Vegas.
And I think we would love to see that. Maybe we'll go back and forth. Go to Raleigh and Vegas for the whole series.
A lot of trekking.
But Montreal's not out of it. Canada still got a shot to break the drought. And the Canadians can win tonight and even that series up 2-2.
Yeah, we'll see. So
Got to score that third goal.
yeah. Yeah, let's get to the Indy 500 for you, Nick. Hold on here. There we go. pull up the wide cam. Look at you go.
Good gift shop.
You saw. So look, I love Memorial Day weekend for racing. It's Motorsports Christmas. I still will call it that, even though F1 decided to ruin it.
Yeah, Montreal.
You saw. I guess in a weird way we're gonna work backwards, but you saw arguably one of the best Indy 500s ever.
I
Period.
think it's the best.
Some people are saying that. You saw the closest finished ever.
70 lead change, I think, was the most
Yep.
ever, too.
Felix Rosenqvist, man. What a breakthrough for a second one. I think it's the second longest gap in between first career win and second career win, but either way. His first Indy 500, he had a very quick Meyer-Shank car all month long. And I think by the time race day came around, even myself kind of forgot about him in the sense of like speed. And that last lap was just incredible. So before we get to some of that, though, overall for you, you go and you had yourself a time. You had the whole weekend down there. You were down there Friday for Carb Day. Got a little bit. I don't want to say shortened because they had the full practice session. You had the Weenie 500 pit stop challenge got cut short because of rain. But you had for the back end of the month of May in Indy, you had a pretty full experience of what people see and everything. So I guess just from there, walk us through the weekend for you in terms of experience. We'll start experience first, and then we'll get to the race stuff, obviously.
Shout out to my Cougar College buddies, Nate Seventh and Khalil Stokes. Khalil's from Rochester, and Nate is from Vermont. And we went down to Indianapolis for the Indy 500, and we camped for the weekend. We got there early, left Thursday afternoon, got there probably 2 a.m. Friday. So it was basically 4 nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah, we just enjoyed ourselves, camped for the weekend. We stayed at a campsite about a mile from the track, so it was nice walking distance. And then there was a Kroger's right around the corner that we went to as well. So, yeah, walking distance from a lot of things that could help us out for the weekend, and had a lot of fun. I had only been to Watkins Glen as a motorsports event, and I love Watkins, but I think the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is a better racetrack. But it's a good one, Watkins Glen International. Don't get me wrong.
Both historic in their own rights.
It's a good one, and it was a great experience. Like you said, Friday got cut short. Didn't stay for the concert either. The concert, I think, still went on.
The snake pit and everything continues, and yeah.
Oh, that's the snake pit.
Yeah,
okay, I got you. So we never did go into the concert.
I think that's a separate ticket.
You gotta pay extra.
Thing, yeah.
But you could see it, so and it was all on the scoreboards. So and Gronk was in there. Connor Daly was in there on Sunday. It was pretty cool.
Daly went full uniform in there,
and everybody could hear the music. So I really don't get the point of buying extra to go in there because you can hear it all.
Yeah.
No, I don't get it. But
I forgot. I should have, not to interrupt, and I didn't know if you were fully get there. So preface of this: Friday you had seats in the grandstands. Race day, Sunday you were standing in the infield in general admission.
Yes. So Friday we did sit in the stands for a little bit, check out the practice, and that was cool to see the views. Went up top, went down low, and we eventually just walked our way around the whole infield, which was cool. Got to see it all in the museum in the back. Didn't go inside the museum, but we saw it. And I think we were about halfway when the weenies came out for the race, so we watched there. But then we made our way back. The golf course was cool. Don't think they care about that golf course too much.
No, they do.
But Sunday, it's just a bunch of drunk idiots on the thing.
So the preface is for other people who may not know, there's a 9-hole golf course at IMS. And I did say too, but it's closed all month because of that reason. And it's a bucket list golf course for me.
People were golfing Friday.
Yeah, but
Sunday no golf.
No, and it will be closed, I think, just while they do maintenance and stuff like that. But
man,
it's a pretty meticulously groomed golf course.
This place was full of drunk people on this course. It's do you not care about your course at all?
So an average Saturday.
I guess so. But yeah, true. But it's just like, that's whatever. But it was still a cool course.
Yeah.
The bathroom lines, not that great. Don't recommend. But there are, you can, if you wait a little bit, you'll get in. But yeah, that was crazy. But we sat in between on Sunday. We got our lawn chairs, and also I didn't realize you could bring a cooler in. Not a big cooler.
Soft-sided, yeah.
Yeah, so we had 30 beers for
There you go.
10 for each of us, which was cool. And a bottle of Fireball, apple.
Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah, bad heartburn that day.
I got heartburn this here.
So we got our lawn chairs and we sat in between turn 2 and 3 on Sunday, and that was pretty cool. The drone American flag was pretty sick to watch. It just like came out of nowhere. Wasn't not expecting that. Shout out Jordan Sparks, good national anthem. Shout out Caitlin Clark. Saw her on Friday. Went to the Indiana Fever. They beat Golden State for the very first time in franchise history. So that was cool. Then I realized MSG is an old stadium because that was a lot more up to date. That was my second NBA stadium that I've been in. So got to see the city a little bit. Shout out Indianapolis because they are a baseball city. Shout out the Indianapolis Indians, the Pirates AAA team. But got to see that. And the Colts Stadium as well. Got to see Peyton Manning's statue. So we got basically all camping. Went downtown on Friday. And just hung out Saturday and watched the race Sunday. Pretty tired Sunday night.
Yeah.
But it was a great
Still a
time.
little bit tired, eh?
I highly recommend.
Yeah. My favorite part of the pre-race is back home again in Indiana.
I did listen to that silly song.
It's not silly. Back home again in Indiana.
I did like the Andy Richter hot dog song.
Oh, I wish I was an Oscar about. Yeah, so let's do a little bit more in depth here though on Sunday here quickly.
Rosenqvist gets the win.
Yeah, I mean, just incredible race. Did you guys end up moving around at all during the race or no? You're pretty much landlocked out at 2, right?
Yep.
But you had
met some people, but
you had a pretty much front row seat for really 2 wrecks actually.
Yeah.
So
we got there probably about 8:30 in the morning. Sat there for about 4 hours pregame, and then saw the race. Had a little delay with the rain.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to see pretty much everything. We saw the Catherine Leg wreck at the start.
Ryan Hunter-Ray wreck.
Yes, that's right, because he ruined her.
Just an idiot. Hold the brake.
But yeah, we got to see a lot. Man, those cars go fast.
I want to say
A lot faster than NASCAR.
I wanted to ask about that. What was the sound like?
See, I bought headphones or headgear, ear protection.
Yeah.
And I used it on Friday when we were near the pit stop.
Yeah.
But I didn't use it at all on turn 2 and 3. I didn't think it was that loud. And my ears are fine today. and yeah, I didn't find it that loud. I thought NASCAR was louder.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
To be honest with you. The only thing with that, the numbers are so small and they go so fast.
Yeah,
it's so hard to see who's who.
I mean, they're like little rocket ships, man. It's crazy.
And like a lot of the cars look the same.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That part I like NASCAR more. Just the riding part of it.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just a little too fast, but it's crazy how fast they go.
Yeah.
How fast they go. They go around that thing so fast.
Yeah.
And a lot of lead changes in that sport.
Yeah, 70 it's a high number for that. So, all right, we're gonna stick with racing here, unfortunately, and get to a pretty somber topic. Kyle Busch, NASCAR legend, passed away unexpectedly last Thursday. Complications from severe pneumonia, sepsis, just crazy. So it's one of those ones in the sporting world where it kind of touched a lot of different areas. I think, look, NASCAR and auto racing kind of period, right? It's more of a niche, whatever, but he was one of the names that I think a lot of people just kind of knew still, right? And I think that kind of showed, like, I had a crazy amount of people getting a hold of me about it and kind of asking questions. I'm just like, and we'll dive maybe a little bit more into this in the sense of whatever, but like, I'm just like, I'm sorry, like we just got news earlier in the day, like literally like 8 hours before that was just like, he's in the hospital, he's sick, not gonna be able to race this weekend. obviously went deeper than that. I had been told information Thursday that was like 90% accurate technically in the sense of like what happened, but just, I mean, kind of brutal. And for you, obviously, you were on the road when the news broke when it happened. So I know for me, like I mentioned, I was at Bocce for our league, and my phone was going crazy right before we started our game at 6, and that's kind of about 15 minutes, half hour or so after the news kind of broke. So it was a lot to kind of digest in the moment. Was made easier through the weekend to a degree, but for you as like a non-NASCAR fan in the sense that I am anyway, but general sports fan, what was kind of that immediate reaction for you?
It was one of those things where you always remember when that news broke.
Yeah.
And you'll probably remember you were always at Bocce, and I remember I was on the way to the Indianapolis 500, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the big motorsports events, and a lot of people at the campsite had like Kyle Busch, like decor, I guess you could say, like honoring him. And then, of course, they honored him at the race, and it's just really sad because he is an icon to that sport. I think he's the all-time winningest NASCAR for all 3 series.
Yeah, in terms of the National Series stuff, 234 wins, which surpasses, obviously the mark that a lot of people call with Richard Petty and 200 with the Cup. But
and he just won the trucks at Dover the week before.
Yeah.
And I do have a moment with him walking outside the media center at Watkins, and he just wrecked from the race. And I'm walking out, and his car literally goes right by me, driving into the garage. So that was interesting encounter with him. But just a sad story because, look, I mean, he's at the end of his career, but he was still an active athlete, and it's always it's always sad when you're still doing the thing that you love, the sport, the job, and you pass away during it, and it's just really sad.
Yeah, there's a lot to kind of digest here a little bit, just for the sake of numbers. 63 Cup wins, 102 O'Reilly wins, which is the most all-time, 69 in the trucks, which is the most all-time. Top 10, though, for the Cup wins. I think that's the worst part, in a way, from the sports side of it, is, he was towards the end of his career. I think he would even probably have said as much in that sense, but that last chapter was still technically unwritten.
Yeah.
Because like you mentioned, right, like he had won a race 6 days prior. And so I think just like
he still could get it done.
The abruptness of it was the shock, right? Because like we were both alive when Dale Earnhardt died, and obviously I've been a fan of NASCAR since I was a kid, and living through the moment, even though I was 6 going on 7 years old when Earnhardt died, I understood the severity of it to a degree. I think the difference, though, is the fact that, like, we got, and I don't mean to sound, like, morbid with it, but, like, we saw, whether good, bad, or indifferent, we did see the end of Dale Earnhardt's career, right? I don't want to sound morbid about it, but we witnessed it as a fan group, as a society, as a whatever. We didn't get that with Kyle Busch. It trends more on that side of, like, the Alan Kulwicki, Davey Allison type of death in NASCAR, where it was off the track. There is no certainty about how it would have ended on the track for them, right? And that's the part that kind of, from that angle, sucks. To go to the Earnhardt thing, for me, from a life, like I said, lifelong whatever, and I've been blasted for this opinion. I don't really care, but like Kyle Busch on the track and even off the track, the way he bought into it and everything, but like he was the closest we probably had to Dale Earnhardt Sr. in the sport in terms of like on track, the way he raced, the way he acted and everything like that, whether people want to admit it or not at the time, like that's just the way it is. Yeah. Like that was a dude when a lot like the black number 3, when you saw, for me, I associate Kyle Busch with the 18. That's just the way it's going to be. But, like, when you saw the 18 in the rearview mirror, like, shit was about to hit the fan, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. That's just the way it is.
No, he's arguably one of the greatest drivers of all time.
Yeah. I mean, there was no way around it.
He's got the stats to back it up.
Yeah. I think the other part that sucks too, obviously, from the human side of it. This is part that is tough for me because, like, I struggle a lot of times, and you know this, like, celebrity deaths for me are kind of, like, really weird. Like, I don't want to see anybody die, obviously, but it's a lot of, like, when this person necessarily cared if, like, you died, you know, the way we care, not to, like, again, probably not the right term, but, like, romanticize death in a way. But I think the part that sucked for a lot of NASCAR fans like myself is just kind of knowing the struggle that him and his wife went through just to have kids, and seeing his relationship over time with his kids in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And I think the other part too that kind of goes unnoticed, especially for, I think, people our age in this sense, but, like, Kyle Busch as a rookie in the Cup Series was 20 years old. Like, he grew up in front of us while we were growing up the whole time. And I think part of that too is just, like, the shock element of, like, what happened.
Yeah.
So,
well, it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's a lot to kind of unpack. I know it's normally, like I said off the top of the podcast, like, I know it's, like, stuff we don't really get into too, but, like, for me as well, to, like, on a personal level, you know, I've dealt with pneumonia in my life. I had essentially double walking pneumonia that put me in the hospital for a week in 8th grade, and it was, like, seriously, like, some of the scariest stuff in my life, because the floor of the hospital I was on was the floor where there are respiratory patients who are, like, frankly dying.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't know what is happening, right? And I got lucky, quote unquote, in the sense of, like, made it out, whatever, here I am. But, like, I mean, we were both at Watkins Glen. We kind of know everything that kind of transpired out of there and what we know now, and I don't want to do full whatever here, but, like, he was asking for help after the race from one of the NASCAR doctors, and even said after he won the truck race at Dover, like, he'd been feeling like crap and still felt like crap. And I think at the end of the day, too, if there is some whatever to take away from this, go, if you feel like crap, just go get checked out, man. There's nothing wrong with it. And I know I'm not maybe the best with it either, or probably you either in that sense, but, like, you know, at the end of the day, you can work through it. You know, stuff like this where you, unfortunately, not to sound morbid, like, you can't come back from this, obviously, right? You know, so just, yeah, the abruptness of it kind of caught me off guard. And, you know, I'm not going to lie. I know you probably didn't see this part of it, but obviously a big moment pre-race for him at the Coke 600. And I was pretty good until the bagpipes started playing Amazing Grace, and that got me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Just seeing his wife and kids, and obviously his parents, and, you know, his older brother Kurt, who also NASCAR legend right in his own right, just elected to the Hall of Fame this past year. Just, it kind of just hit a little bit, and I just wasn't anticipating it.
Watched him for 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I meant. Like, I grew up with him while he was growing up. Like, we literally saw, and that's, like I mentioned, I think part of it too, where it's like there is that final chapters that is unwritten, is written, just not the way now that we thought or probably should have been drawn out, unfortunately. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, from a sporting perspective too, you have to look at it. You know, RCR. I mentioned Dale Earnhardt. I don't know of a team that's gone through what they've gone through. You know, 25 years later, after they lose Dale Earnhardt, to go through a similar deal in the sense of just abrupt death.
Yeah. Of
essentially your bell cow from that angle of it too. And I know, well, I'm not a big Richard Childress guy overall, but, like, I feel for him in the sense of, like, this guy who's had deep relationships with two guys, and then just to lose them like that, I don't know. You gotta give him credit. I know they aren't running the 8 anymore. They renumbered it to 33 for the foreseeable future.
Brexton's gonna get the 8.
Yeah, I don't really want. Unfortunately, I don't want to really dive into that. Because that's who I probably feel the worst for in a way, is because Kyle had such a big role on his side, and I just know the way we are as a society. I hope he's not pushed into doing something he doesn't want to necessarily do anymore. I know it's very apparent he loves racing, but like I hope he isn't shoved into that, whether it's too soon or if he just wants to, as an 11-year-old, just take a break in a sense.
He already has big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
And now he's got.
Yeah, I know it's a little bit different. It's tough not to think a little bit, again, to go back to the Earnhardt side, like Dale Jr. in a way, where it's just like, you look at some of the stuff after that week after Daytona at Rockingham, it looks like, I mean, even 2001 as a whole, it just looks like Dale Jr.'s lost a lot of the time, right? And that's fair, I just hope nothing but good things, obviously, for his kids, because, man, I don't know what I would do. Yeah. So.
Just sad. He would be missed.
Yeah, for sure. All right. We'll tie a bow on that here and get out of here on that note. Obviously, not the way we anticipate probably ending this podcast a week ago, but unfortunately, that's just the way the sports world kind of crumbles every now and then. So, Nick, get us back on the happy train here. Who are you shouting out today?
I got a double shout out here today.
Good night, Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Shout out to my Uncle Tom Marino. His birthday today.
Oh, 29th.
29th birthday.
All right.
And double shout out, like I said, Jack DeRue's birthday's tomorrow.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, 29. Actually, he actually might legitimately be 29. Hold on. No.
Okay, I'm only 31.
No.
I'm only 31.
Yeah.
Okay. Or 29, whatever you want to say. I think he's 27.
I was about to say 27 or 28.
99 is his birthday, so
28.
27.
27. I was about to say it's got to be 27 or 28. So
yeah, 27th birthday, Jack.
I'm going to double shout us here on the way out, Nick, so that way you can wave the flag like Kornheiser, Good Night Canada style.
Same time tomorrow, knucklehead.
Appreciate everybody for listening and tuning into Fresh Takes this week. We will be back, yes, for sure, next week on Wednesday. After that, it gets a little bit potentially weird, but that's for me to worry about and let you guys know down the line. So you can find Fresh Takes here on fingerlakes1.com and the F1 YouTube channel. The audio-only version of the podcast on all major podcasting platforms. Appreciate everybody for listening and tuning in this week. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. Talk again next Wednesday.